Hi, welcome to Money Confidence. I'm Crystal Ockley, the Chief Financial Strategist here at Confidence Wealth. And every week I try to bring a topic to you that I believe would be helpful to you. So, one of the topics I wanted to talk about today is there are sometimes you go into a meeting and, when someone is doing their planning and what they think in what they have set up is totally different in reality. And that's one of the things that makes it very difficult for most people to understand their distribution phase because they're looking at it with literally one track and not looking at all the different elements that go together. And that's why, again, distribution planning can be very difficult. I'll give you an example. Let's say someone thought they are missing $2,000 worth of income per month, which is $24,000 per year. So what they'll do is they think, well, if I have $250,000, just using this as an example, that should be plenty because I can just take that money out while it's earning, some interest. That should last me a lifetime. The problem is they're looking at it very statically. So let's say if they were at 70, they think, oh, that's plenty. I may live till 85. That should get me through. They're not realizing that really in reality is how's that 250 invested, the ups and downs of the market, even if it's in just a fixed product, while you're taking money out. What about inflation? What about the taxes it's going to, incur because depending on the bucket that is coming from. So it's very interesting because I think that's what a lot of people don't put in. They don't plug in. They don't also then take a look and say that extra $2,000 that I'm taking out of my IRA, how is that also going to affect now my Social Security and my pension being taxed? Again, I'm using an easy low number just to make it easy for you to follow. So imagine if you were making, you're making $40,000 with Social Security and you weren't paying that much taxes, and now you added that $24,000 of income coming in. Now it changed the dynamic, right? So taking taxes into account matters. Then on top of that, depending on how much you're taking out of your IRA to compensate for that missing income, in this example we talked about $2,000. What if someone have a gap of $5,000? Well, is that going to take you to the next tax bracket? And does that cause IRMA consequences? So now you're paying for Medicare. Also, we need to think about the one-time items that come along the way. Cars that need to be replaced, a roof that may fall apart, plumbing issues. So whenever you think about retirement and you look at your bucket and it seems, oh, it's just enough, usually mean it's really not enough because you didn't think about all the other elements. So it really is important to look at it that way. And I see way too many people even have very brief conversations with their CPA because your CPA has been doing your taxes for a long time and there is, conversations with that. But unfortunately, you have to also remember the CPA is not looking at it that way either. They're just looking at that one bucket and maybe they give you a very vague advice and you think things are going to be okay. So I want to make sure that whenever you think about retirement and do I have enough money, don't do some just static number and think that's going to be enough. That's when it's about really getting together and running truly a cash flow report, looking at the tax consequences, looking at income projections, the one-time expenses that would come up, and also, example, what if taxes went up a little bit in the future as well? So looking at all those things and running different scenarios, projection, and Monte Carlo simulations will have you understand what's my average and what's my worst case scenario. I never care about the best case scenario, right? So let's say you run a lifetime. If I'm by 90, how much do I have left? It's important to look at an average and the worst case scenario. Now, I know with our clients, this is something that's elementary, 101. It's really important. That's something we do. It's really important to understand that before you ever implement any other strategy. But one of the reasons I brought this up, because I've had too many people come that I've seen lately that are either, friends and family of clients or people that see our webinar and they attend and they literally come to a meeting and I find out they were told they're okay to retire, But when I ask them, do you have an actual plan, a written income plan, or a cash flow reporting, what is that going to look like? The answer is no. And it was a very vague way that they figured out that, oh, we think we can retire. And in a lot of those cases, there were lots of things that were not addressed. A lot of T's had to be crossed, a lot of I's needed to be dotted. So it really is important to understand all of that, so then you don't jump in and retire and you fall short. So if you've never done that, that's why it's super important that you run an income projection report and really know what things are going to look like before you actually jump the ship and retire. Talk to you soon.